They noticed her on the first day and then immediately forgot her. In the Grand Apex Academy of Sentient Warfare, students came from species bred for combat, towering Vraxians with bone armor, Sarathi whose reflexes were measured in microseconds, Kroth warspawn who had survived gladiator pits before learning language. And then there was Mara Hale, human, small, quiet. She sat in the back row, posture straight, eyes lowered. She didn't boast. Didn't challenge anyone. Didn't even react when the Vraxian beside her flexed his claws and laughed. Earthborn? He rumbled. Didn't know your kind still existed. Mara only nodded politely. The instructors marked her as low threat. The scanners showed average strength, slightly elevated endurance. Neural patterns labeled unremarkable. Her file carried a single note. Subject unlikely to survive first year. During combat simulations, Mara moved last. When teams were formed, she was chosen out of obligation, not desire. She followed orders. She spoke only when spoken to. That's why no one noticed the scars. Thin lines along her wrists, hidden beneath uniform sleeves. Old burn marks along her ribs. Micro-fracture reinforcements in her bones, too fine for academy scans to catch. No one asked why a human had been accepted into an academy that rejected 99% of applicants across the galaxy. No one wondered why her gaze lingered too long on exits, ceiling vents, shadows. And no one noticed that during the first live-fire exercise, when a training drone malfunctioned and fired real plasma, Mara was already moving before the alarm sounded. She didn't panic. She didn't scream. She stepped aside, redirected the blast with a fallen shield, and disabled the drone with 3 precise shots to non-standard weak points. The instructors wrote it off as luck. The students laughed nervously. Mara returned to her seat, hands steady, breathing controlled. Because she had learned long ago that the deadliest hunters were never loud. They were quiet. And they waited. The second week brought the hunt trials. Each cadet was dropped into a hostile biome simulation. Objective: survive 48 hours while being hunted by engineered predators. The arena assigned to Mara was labeled high lethality. Instructors exchanged looks. She won't last 6 hours, one said. When the timer started, chaos erupted. Screams echoed as students fled, weapons blazing. Mara didn't run. She crouched, listened. The jungle was alive, too alive. The predators here didn't roar. They communicated through vibration, scent, pressure changes. Mara removed her boots. Barefoot, she moved without sound. She mapped the terrain in her mind, counting steps, noting wind direction. She smeared mud along her exposed skin, masking her heat signature. Hours passed. The first predator died silently, its spine severed by a monofilament wire fashioned from survival kit components. The second never knew she was there. The third tried to ambush her from above. Mara looked up and smiled faintly. When extraction teams entered the arena 2 days later, they expected remains. Instead, they found Mara sitting calmly beside a fire. Around her lay 16 dead apex predators, not torn apart, not blasted. Hunted, clean kills, efficient, precise. The instructors stared at the biometric logs in disbelief. Her heart rate never spiked. Stress hormones stayed low. Neural activity showed intense focus, predatory calm. "This isn't training," one whispered. "This is experience." When questioned, Mara answered simply, "I grew up on Earth." That explanation made no sense. Earth was classified as a low-threat death world. Dangerous, yes, but not like this. They didn't push further. They should have. Because somewhere deep in the Academy database, an encrypted file stirred, one that had been buried by human authorities centuries ago. Project Silent Huntress. Status: unacknowledged success. And Mara Hale was its final graduate. The attack came without warning. A raider fleet breached the Academy's orbital defenses during a routine rotation. Sirens blared. Students panicked. Real combat. The instructors mobilized elite squads, but the enemy was fast, surgical. They targeted command centers, armories, escape corridors. Mara was in the transit hall when the first explosion tore through the ceiling. Shrapnel rained down. Smoke filled the air. She moved. Not toward safety, toward the sound of gunfire. A Kroth cadet screamed as a raider crushed his armor. Mara slid beneath the blow, planted a blade into the raider's knee joint, twisted and snapped its balance. Her movements were fluid, ruthless. She disarmed enemies mid-strike, turning their weapons against them. She used walls, gravity shifts, debris. Everything became a tool. Other students watched in stunned silence. This was not academy combat. This was extermination. By the time instructors arrived, the hall was quiet. Too quiet. Bodies lay scattered. Raiders neutralized with terrifying efficiency. Mara stood among them, blood on her hands that wasn't hers. One instructor whispered, "What are you?" Mara met his eyes. "Tired," she said. More raiders came. So did she. Through corridors, through hangars, through the heart of the invasion, Mara hunted. She anticipated ambushes before they formed. She dismantled squads alone. The raider commander finally saw the footage. "That's not prey," he hissed. "That's a hunter." But it was too late. Mara reached the command deck and ended the invasion. After the battle, silence fell over the academy. No celebration, only fear. The council summoned Mara. Records were opened. Ancient human seals cracked. The truth spilled out. Humanity had once faced extinction, not from aliens, but from predators beyond conventional warfare. Creatures immune to scanners, smarter than armies. They didn't build bigger weapons. They built hunters. Children trained from birth. Conditioned for patience, restraint, control. Taught to disappear, to endure. To kill only when necessary. Mara was one of the last. "We thought the program ended," the council said. "It did," Mara replied. "We survived." They asked why she hid her abilities. She answered simply, "Because hunters who reveal themselves die first." The academy reclassified humans overnight. Threat level, unquantifiable. Doctrine updated. Avoid provoking quiet ones. Mara declined promotions, declined medals. She asked for only one thing: to finish my education. They agreed. No one laughed at her anymore. Years later, legends spread across the galaxy. Pirate fleets that vanished without battle. War beasts found dead with no signs of struggle. Conflicts ended before they began. Whispers followed one name: a human. Quiet. Watching. At the academy, new cadets were told a rule on day one. If you see a human sitting quietly in the back row, do not mock them. Do not challenge them. Why? Someone always asked. The instructor would pause. Because predators roar, and hunters don't. Somewhere beyond the stars, Mara Hale watched another horizon and waited.